What is up, fellow critics? So today we're going to talk about the true events that was the base for the show Unbelievable on Netflix. Now, I know you guys been asking me for me to read the article, and I went through it and it was really good. So before we start, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps, guys. It really does.
No signs of forced entry. Doors and windows were locked. No DNA. Not a single neighbor saw or heard a thing.
It's bogus. She made it up.
He said you need to be more protective of yourself.
Black mask, backpack, tied her up, took photos. To date, has not been caught.
Even with people that you can trust, if the truth is inconvenient, they don't believe it.
For those who don't know, Unbelievable is about a teenager who was sexually assaulted and was charged by the police for false reporting it. And is also about a group of detectives trying to find out who done it. So I did a reaction for all the episodes. If you guys want to see that reaction, make sure you click on the link. I checked out the article and it's pretty good actually. And so what I want to do is I want to just go over some of the things about it, what was different from the article and the actual show, and what they left out, and what some things that were different. So I just want to go through all that. But guys, it's so crazy because pretty much every point that in this article, it was in the show. Like, only a few things were left out, a few things were changed. And I was thinking like, all right, you know, if you're gonna take from a source material, you gotta, change it. So I was expecting a lot different, but no, it's done really well. They pretty much just took the source material and boom, made a show out of it. But there were some things, so we're gonna go over it. But first, let's talk about the main points that they got right, and they just did perfectly. The actual sexual assaults, all the events that really happened, they portrayed it in the show perfectly. All the details about them being tied up, the knives, the gun, the pictures being taken, the dressing up to the point where having them shower. Even to the point where the one victim actually escaped and jumped out the window. Like, she jumped from the second floor. Even all that was actually really happened. And they just portrayed it perfectly in the show. Marie being hounded by the police, that pretty much happened exactly the way it happened. To the point where her foster parents didn't believe her, had kind of feelings like she doesn't seem like herself. She didn't seem like a person who would act like that if they were attacked. That's the way they really thought, and they told the detectives, and from that the detectives stopped believing her and pretty much pressured her to false reporting herself. All the multiple times she changed her story, the reasons why she changed her story, and her being hounded by the polygraph saying she was going to be arrested, is all exactly what happened. The detective Galbraith, aka Duvall, talking to her husband, and her husband was like, yeah, there is some other cases similar in my precinct. That was the only way that connected these cases together, and that really happened. She was home talking to her husband, and he said that. He said, hey, those seem similar to the cases we have. Go talk to the other detective we have and see if this connected. And that was the only way that connected all this stuff together. And where Galbraith and Hendershot would come together and put other cases similar together and find all these connections. That really happened. All the evidence is pretty much exact the way it happened. The Mazda truck, the glove prints, the sneakers, the DNA, the birthmark, how they found Marie in her picture. Pretty much all exactly happened the way it did. One of the actual crazy things that happened in the show actually really happened, and it kind of like threw me off of reading this. Like, wow, this actually happened. The whole mix-up where they thought they were, trailing O'Leary, McCarthy, and they follow, him to the diner, and they take the cup for, DNA, and they come find out that he was still in the house. So the agents come knock on the door and he was still there. They had to think of a plan and say that, hey, we're just looking for burglars that was around in the area. you know, just to get away with it. And there were some differences with that scene. It wasn't actually just an FBI agent doing it. And O'Leary getting sentenced 327 years. So yeah, after reading this article, it's just crazy how all this really happened. And then the fact that they just pretty much took all that stuff and then just made it into a show, like without adding too much. Normally when you take stuff that happens in real life, most likely a lot of it's going to get changed when you make it into a movie or TV show, and this was on point. So there's some stuff added to the show that did not really happen, like the whole fact that they thought it could have been a cop, but the whole point where Rasmussen was actually had a name and she was following the guy and met him at the bar and try to, you know, lie to him, and he spit in her face and all that stuff. That whole plot point was all actually added in and actually did not happen. Another thing that had me feeling a certain type of way was that forensics book. Never really happened. That was something they just added into the show. With O'Leary, he knew that the army had his DNA, so if he left it, it would be very easy for them to find him. So he made sure to, you know, not to leave traces of DNA, and he also made sure to, you know, attack in different districts so he wouldn't get caught. So he was smart enough to do that, but he was so dumb to leave the evidence just chilling in his house. There were some things I read that were not really explained in the show, and if I'm wrong, please leave it in the comments below to let me know, because I'm sure you will. But you know how Marie's name was leaked to the press and how there was a page online made about her? It was actually her best friend who did it, who actually leaked it. I don't know if that was actually put out on the show. I know they showed it, they showed the page, but I don't know if they actually, you know, suggest that it was actually her who released that information. The lead detective on the Washington case, on Marie's case, was actually the one who was pushing for charges against Marie. He signed off on it. I don't know if that was actually portrayed in the show or not. I don't think it was. O'Leary was charged with the other Washington attack. The victim name was actually on his computer, and they found it and connected him to it. Both of Marie's foster parents actually apologized to her for doubting her about the attacks. This is something I actually thought they should add into the show. So yeah, that was some of the things they got right and some of the things they actually were made up and not true. But overall, they did a great job with this show. Like, everything is just on point. The motion is done so well. The cast is so good. I just love this show. And so I decided to look up some other things about this and see what's going on right now. So the Washington detectives on Marie's case never got in trouble for forcing her to recant her story, which is crazy. You would think something would happen. The city settled on a settlement after her suing, so you would think, you know, some kind of discipline, but nope. One retired, the other one's still working. Later on, O'Leary actually told the police that he's been fantasizing about sexual assaulting since he was a kid, and they still have not got into his hard drive. Hendershot and Galbraith, aka Rasmussen and Duvall, are actually still working today, and they're doing well. The real Marie is actually doing pretty well. She's married, she has 2 kids, and she moved out of Washington. She actually called Kaitlyn Dever, who played Marie Adler, and told her that she did an excellent job portraying her, and she loves the show. So yeah guys, I really love the show, and I really love reading the article, and I can go for days telling you guys about what exactly happened in real life and how it matched in the show. They just did such a great job with it. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment on what part of the article that you like that they put in the show, and please like the video guys, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.
And just told him about, you know, about the case, because I valued his input as a professional as well. And he just, you know, was like, you know, I swear we've had at least 1, maybe 2 cases with a similar MO. He said that it wasn't about necessarily the assault and the attack itself. He said it's the hundreds, thousands of hours that he put into stalking, fantasizing, playing all this out. And then, you know, the assault is only, you know, an hour to 4 hours, whatever.